What's going on, guys? Today we're going to talk about wanting something versus liking the idea of something. And this has come up over and over again for me personally with um, people I work with and just with a lot of stuff that I see on social media. So I figured I would just talk on the topic. This can be applied to just about anything in life. I'm going to apply it to fitness and fitness goals, whether that be aesthetics, aka visual appearance, and that kind of falls into the category of people wanting to lose weight or gain weight. And then also that applies to strength and being stronger. So let's look at first some characteristics that people have when they want something in a selected fitness outcome. Let's say for nutritional goals and aesthetic visual appearance goals or weight loss. Okay? Typically speaking, people want to lose weight to look better. Other individuals want to start training to have a better looking physique. Some people, general fitness people, come in and they just say they want to look better naked. The characteristics of those individuals that want to do this will go through certain steps in getting to that overall goal. The basic first steps of that is getting a gym membership. And on top of just getting a gym membership, if you don't know how to navigate the gym or what to do to get to that ultimate goal, you are going to implement or hire a coach for training, personal training, or online programming, remote programming. You are going to hire a nutrition coach. This can be the same person, it can be different. Typically speaking, if it's the same person, they can keep nutrition and programming in line with one another and they won't be perpendicular to each other. So they will be both progressing you towards your main goal of your aesthetic um, overall outcome that you want. After you hire somebody that knows what they're doing, that has more experience than you, you follow the information, you follow the program. You give them updates when they ask you for an update. You don't say, "Oh, I've been busy," and give them an update once every 3 weeks. It doesn't work like that. If you have a nutrition coach that asks for an update weekly and can visually see areas that need work or can visually see that you have put on weight or lost weight in certain areas, they adjust your food weekly to help you get to your goal. So if you're not being on top of your homework, if you will, to reach that goal, well, now the individual you hired is kind of stuck between a rock and a hard spot because um, they can't want it more than you can. So that leads us to our next thing. You have to want it just as bad as your coach. Typically speaking, coaches in the fitness industry are high energy, and they, like I just said, they can't want it more than you because if they want it more than you, then they get frustrated at you that you're not motivated to do the work that they are requesting you to do. They're the experts, remember? They're the ones that have experience, so they know what it takes to get to said goal if you don't follow along with that. Moving on to the next one, setting obtainable small goals in line with your larger ones. If you come in and say, I want to, bam, here's my large goal, I want to be on stage, bodybuilding, physique, whatever category you may have, and that's your only goal and that's your only mindset that you have for that, that could be a problem. And that's also where a coach comes in and is very helpful and says, okay, this is our first small step. This is what we got to do, whether that be nutrition or programming. Once you get to this small step, then we can implement stage two. Get through stage two, then we can implement stage three. If you don't have small goals along the way, it makes reaching that ultimate goal a lot harder. It gives you momentum. So ticking off small goals along the way kind of motivates you even more. Like, oh man, I'm seeing this progress, or I'm getting through these stages quickly, slowly. It doesn't matter. You're still progressing through stages, so you know what is being implemented is working. And the last one is, some people won't care to do this because it's just extra work, but further educating yourself as you progress. So, regardless if you're in the fitness industry or not, if you're not taking notes on what you're doing to have this lifestyle change, the lifestyle change won't be consistent. Like, you'll fall out of that lifestyle change. It's just like training. Like, if you're not recording the movements that you're doing and how much you're doing in that movement, the next time it comes around, you could be doing either less weight or doing it improperly, which is not going to help you with your overall total. The same thing goes for nutrition. I mean, it's not necessarily a healthy thing to be 8% body fat all year round. Like, there are stages in training where your weight will fluctuate up and then you will like kind of taper it back down. It will drop. You don't want to stay in that dropped caloric zone for the whole year. It doesn't make any sense because that makes it harder for your physique to improve. So knowing why your body is doing what it's doing and you're able to track it by your weekly check-ins. It's kind of ironic because if you do your weekly check-ins, now you have a ledger of what you were eating, what you looked like, and what your weight was, and now you can start understanding why certain food is being given and taken away, and then you can see how your body reacts to it. So that's self-educating, and typically speaking, if you have a good coach, they will explain to you as well. Like, if you're going along with the weekly updates and you ask questions, they have no problem explaining to you. And that motivates them even more to put more time and energy into your program because you actually are like very, very curious and involved in it. And you are showing them that you appreciate what they do. So these are the first things that really stand out when an individual wants to obtain a fitness goal that you see, especially as a coach. All right, so the second part of this, what characteristics do you see of people when they like the idea of a fitness outcome? And unfortunately, while sitting down and typing or brainstorming on some of these experiences, this list is a lot longer. So, first thing, individuals talk about it. And they don't just talk about it a little bit, they talk about it all the time. And it's usually to other fitness minded people. Every time they see someone in the gym, they say the exact same thing of what their goals are and what they want to do. Yet they still are talking about the same thing week in and week out. So that's going to be number one. They talk about it often to non-fitness minded people. So they are talking to people outside of the gym that have no interest in the fitness industry whatsoever, which isn't a bad thing. Like, some people just aren't into it, but these individuals will tell absolutely everybody what their goals are and what they're going to do to get there, and they constantly just talk about it, yet they're just spinning their wheels because talking about it is one thing and doing it is a whole nother thing. Talking about it stimulates the idea of it, but that idea doesn't actually get implemented until you actually do it. Which transitions basically right into the next one. Saying you will start and then just insert the date of the following week or month. New Year's resolutions, people that are going to buy a nutrition program, buy a training program, are like, oh yeah, I'm going to start when I'm 13 weeks out, when I'm 20 weeks out, blah, blah, blah. And right now they're like 14 weeks out or 21 weeks out. Like, they're waiting and they're putting it off for another week so that they can either see a number of like 20 weeks, or they go by what they see online of, oh, the standard prep time for bodybuilding show, physique show, or powerlifting competition is X. I'm going to start then. Well, if you don't have a base, you better be starting way earlier than that. The next one is kind of funny to me. the individual will get upset with people who are more knowledgeable than them telling them what they need to do or what they have to do, and like the idea is completely rejected. So they, like we just said, they talk about it often to fitness-minded people. Well, if that fitness-minded person is way more knowledgeable and they say, hey, you might want to try it this way, or they even offer their services to help them, and then said individual gets upset and almost offended at you trying to give them advice, yet they are basically going off of what they read online and they have no prior experience. That's a really good sign that they like the idea of a fitness outcome, but they aren't actually going to implement it. Doing more of what you think will make you reach your goal and less of the advice given by more knowledgeable people. Kind of different than what we just talked about, but yes, it happens all the time. So let's say you do or don't hire a coach to do your nutrition and to do your training program. After you hire them or after you are given advice, you don't take that advice and then you basically do the opposite and then double it. Perfect example. Let's say a general fitness client says, I want to start losing weight. How do I start going about doing this? Well, on top of training, you want to eat better. So you want a carb, a fat, and a protein at every single meal. And then try some steady state cardio. No more than 20 to 30 minutes a day. Keep your heart rate no more than 140. Instead of eating 3 meals a day with one carb source, one fat source, and one protein source, they will eat however many meals a day they want with 0 fat, and they won't do cardio. They'll just go and do another fitness class that they think is cardio to burn more calories. So now you're intaking less to fuel you, and you are requiring your body to do more, and that doesn't go together. Doesn't make any sense. So that happens all the time. And lastly, implementing what you see on social media by people who have no education or extensive resume in the area you're trying to progress. Now, there are plenty of people I know out there that are extremely gifted and knowledgeable when it comes to nutrition or strength training or in their or training period in their discipline, whether it be powerlifting, strongman, CrossFit, all of it. Okay, there's individuals that didn't go to exercise sports science and are very good at programming, are very good at coaching, but they have an extensive resume. Like they've been doing it for a really long time. I can't tell you how many people I see like fitness aid or liaison or all this stupid stuff on social media with no educational background, hardly a resume, and it's like that's where these people go to die on Instagram, where they constantly push all these posts and whatnot. And you see individuals in your facility or other individuals that you know on your social media that are implementing this goofy stuff, and then we revert right back to giving advice, and then those individuals will get upset. So these are these are the list of things that kind of just popped into my head of individuals that like the idea of having a fitness goal and they like the idea of doing something, but they will never do it. And that was what was on my mind on today from Shooting from the Hip.